What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Work Knife Balance. We got a sweet new Wii knife we're going to be looking at today. Before we get too far into that, I want to give a shout out to AZ USA Blade Works. This is a knife that they gave us for a loaner that we're going to be doing a video on, and then we're going to be sending it back to the shop. If you're in Southern Arizona and you're looking for good knives, head over to AZ USA Blade Works down in Green Valley, or you can hit them up online at azusabladeworks.com. They have an amazing selection of stuff. You can also follow them on Instagram and see what they got when it comes in. We want to say thank you to anybody who's already liked and subscribed to our channels here on YouTube. I almost said Instagram, here on YouTube. And if you haven't, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. We're going to continue to make content. We'd love for you to see it. Hitting that bell icon lets you know when we post new content. So after you subscribe, go ahead and hit that bell icon, and that'll let you know when we post stuff. Head over to Instagram, though, as well, and you can follow us at WorkKnifeBalance939. If you got a knife you want us to see, go ahead and send it in to us, communicate with us there, and then we'll send back some swag, some sweet stickers and stuff like that for you, just as a thank you for letting us look at your knife. All right, now let's get to the meat and potatoes. This is what y'all wanted to see. Let's go ahead and dive into this knife. This is a Wii knife that I have had my eye on for a while now, and I think got definitely overlooked just because of, what it came out with. There were a couple other knives that got released right around the same time as this one, and this one just kind of got overshadowed by them. So let's go ahead and get this out. It comes with all their traditional Wii stuff. You got a really nice cloth case here with the zipper pouch on it. You get the sticker, you get the cleaning cloth, all the good stuff, and then the knife in here, nice in that plastic, zipped up together, all that good stuff and everything. Here is the knife. This is going to be the Wii Magnetron. This thing is just absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Look at that, like, oh man, the detail on this knife is just ridiculous. This thing is so sweet, and it has amazing action. You would expect nothing less from Wii as they're going ahead and putting together all these knives. It's going to be a back flipper only, but it is sitting on those ceramic caged ball bearings. Has a really nice detent, just kind of snappy whips out there. It's going to be coming in with the, let's see if we can get it in there, CPM 20 CV. You can see it right at the top there. Wii likes to hide all their goodies, letting you know what you can see. You got to go ahead and go to their website and figure it out sometimes. But before we get too far into this, let's go ahead and do some measurements and side-by-side comparisons. Wii Magnetron, tip to tail, coming in just over 8.5. We're going to be looking at like 8.6 on the overall length. For the blade length, we're looking at 3.75 with a cutting edge of about 3.5 on there. So it's a big boy. It's definitely a full-size knife, not a compact EDC. Definitely feels full-size when you get it in hand too. So gonna go ahead and put the Ontario Rat 1 up top for our first comparison. We'll go ahead and pull the Rat 2 down below right there. Much closer to that Rat 1 inside comparison, side-by-side comparison, which makes sense with the measurement size that we're pulling out there. And then we'll go ahead and see the Spyderco Para 2 and Para 3 as well. Para 2 up top, and then we'll go ahead and put the Para 3 down below here. Lining up the pivots, you got a really good comparison to that Ontario Rat 1, close to the Spyderco PM2 right there as well too. So if we do a close comparison on this, you're going to see it's actually we've actually got a pretty good closed comparison there to the Spyderco as well. So that's going to give you a good side-by-side comparison for the Magnetron right here. A couple things they did on this that I thought was really cool. They added this milled texturing to the titanium on it. So not only do you have this super slick inlay on it, and this is going to be a carbon or copper foil, carbon fiber. Man, words are really hard today. It's going to be a copper foil carbon fiber inlay that they got going on there. And then they've got the speed holes on the one side there, so you can kind of see I think it's just for weight reduction more than anything else in aesthetics, but it looks really good. They did do an anode to the pivot, and so you've got that lightning anode to the pivot there, and then you have that rose colored around the pivot collar as well. So it's definitely going to be a premium knife. These are coming in a little bit on the spendy side. They're going to be $365.50, so they're definitely up there. But for what you're getting and what you pay for, I mean, realistically, this feels like the most amazing Wii knife you've ever held. I mean, Wii's not dropped the quality by any means, and it feels really good. It's hard to go over $400 with a production knife, but $365.50 for this is a steal, I think, in my opinion. It's a really good knife. You've got a really nice sharpening choil that you can use as a finger choil up front. You've got amazing jimping on the back here, so that jimping is just fantastic. Cuts right in, and you don't have to worry about having little too much in here. You can choke up fantastic on it. It feels phenomenal with a lot of extra space on the backside there as well. You have a really nice anchor spot right there where you can have 1 or 2 fingers in if you have got smaller hands in there, and then hold it in there. You get a really nice reverse grip in there as well too. I mean, there's not much about this that I would say that I would complain about. You've got a couple different variations. They have what looks like a raw tie or blasted tie with the aluminum foil and carbon inlay, and then it has blue instead of the rose color or the copper color on there as well. And then they've got a Damascus version, which, if I'm being honest, looks disgusting and I don't really like it. The Damascus that they chose looks more of like a raindrop Damascus, and then they added like a nebula carbon to it. It not my forte. Someone out there's probably loving it, has it, owns it, thinks it's the greatest thing in the world, but I think it's kind of gross. These, though, the base models for $365.50, I think are just bangers. These are really nice. And I like how we didn't do their logo here. They added a little bit more, I guess, flair and color to it, but they added their logo on the backside on the pivot there. So you can kind of see the logo right there on the pivot, which looks really nice. So I think they're doing some really cool things. Everyone knows Wii is probably top 5 OEMs right now out of China. They're one of the top 5 companies coming out there. There's just not many people that do something better than Wii, and Wii just continues to do so much coming out from Wii and Civivi. So it's definitely, I think, got overshadowed by the Exciton, which it came out the same time as the Exciton, which was the big brother to the Ziphius, which was Knife of the Year for Texas Blade Show earlier this year, Production Knife of the Year for Texas Blade Show. So there were a lot of things that just kind of happened at the same time this knife happened, and it just kind of took place of that. And this really got overshadowed because of it, I think. And this is definitely a knife worthy of getting talked about, passed around, looked at. This is a beauty in itself. So I want to say something about this knife, and I know people are going to just like crucify me for it, so bring it on. But this knife feels like a budget Koenig to me. It feels like a budget Koenig. I know a lot of people are out there right now with the Titus from Kubi saying that it is just a mini Arius and it's out there. This right here feels like a budget Koenig. It's much bigger than the Titus. It feels good. It has a really good action. It has that same kind of feel that an Arius would feel in hand, personally. Now, I don't own an Arius, so there's your loophole. If you want to jump on me for saying you can't compare something if you don't own it, you're right. I don't own an Arius, and I want one really bad, but I have held quite a few of them, and from what I remember, this is what it feels like. It feels fantastic in hand like this. You have a really good contour, really good weight, really good size comparison to it. I mean, that's what it feels like to me. So if you're looking for something a little bit more than that titanium Titan from Kubi and not quite a $700 to $900 Arius, I think this is the next best thing. This is that middle ground in there, and it gives you a little bit more flair to it as well, personally. So I don't know what we was thinking when they designed it, if that's what they were going for, but that's what it feels like to me. So I said it. Now y'all can yell at me for it. Go ahead. They got a really nice backspacer on the side here with a little lanyard hole right here. That's probably the most complicated lanyard hole to get a lanyard into, I would say. That's not going to be fun at all for people who like lanyards, all 12 of you. But if you also like some little flair to the backside here, You've got a really cool backspacer that comes up pretty high with some decoration in it. So it's not just a blank backspacer, which is kind of nice. A lot of times you just have a bare backspacer and it looks good. It's not bad, but I like that little extra there. Looks like you got a T8 on the pivot, T8 on the hardware as well, so that looks pretty cool. Looks like it. I'm not 100%, so if someone has the knife, they can go ahead and check it out. I'm not going to put tools on this because I don't want to scratch it and it's not mine, but it looks like a T8 for sure to me. Not an ambidextrous pocket clip, so you're only going to have it on one side, so right-handed people rejoice. You can carry this knife easily. Left-handed people, sorry, your life is what it is. But yeah, I'm just rambling at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. But until next time, TTFN, let me know what you're carrying and let me know what you think of the Magnetron. I think it's fantastic. So head over to AZ USA, pick yourself up one, or there will be links below. I'm going to put links below. If you use any of the links below, they do support our channel, and we greatly appreciate all the support we can get. We thank you very much for that. Until next time, TTFN.